Hi ladies, it's Mr. O'Sullivan. Today we're looking at lesson 3-5, angle pairs part 2. Today's learning target is I will apply my understanding of angle relationships to calculate a missing angle measure. Today we're going to be looking at two different relationships. We're going to be looking at the vertical angles and angles at a point. So in vertical angles, our fact is they are angles that are opposite each other when two lines intersect, and the big idea is that vertical angles are congruent to each other. So if I look at this visual, I'm going to use numbering instead of letters. I'm going to put a 1 here, a 2 here, a 3 here, and a 4 here. I can say that angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical to each other because they are directly across from each other when my two lines intersect. Because of that, I can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. If I look at my visual a little further, I can see angle 3 and angle 4 are across from each other, which means that they are also vertical, which means they are congruent. So I can say angle 3 congruent to angle 4. Angles at a point, though, I can add up all these angles and they will be equal to 360. The reasoning why is because if I draw a full circle around, there are 360 degrees in a circle. So I can say A plus B plus C is equal to 360. And it's not just 3 angles. I could have 4, could have 5, could have 6, could even have 2. Find the measure of each labeled angle and give a reason for your solution. So if I look at this first image, I have angles on a line. This is from yesterday. What do I know about angles on a line? Well, they add up to 180 degrees. So if I want to find out what the value of angle 1 is, I just have to do 180 minus 145. When I do 180 minus 145, I get 35 degrees. So I can say angle 1 is 35 degrees, and my reasoning is angles on a line add up to 180. Question number 2. I want to find angle 2. If I look at this visual, I can see that angle 2 and my 40-degree angle are vertical to each other. So that means angle 2 has to be 40 degrees. Because it's vertical to 40 degrees. Angle 3. Well, if I look, I know angles on a line add up to 180. So if I look, I know that these two angles will add up to 180 degrees. So I can do 180 minus 40, which will give me 140 degrees. So I can say angle 3 is 140 degrees. And my reasoning is angles on a line add up to 180 degrees. Question number 4. I want to find angle 4. Well, if I look, I got vertical angles. Angle 4 is vertical to angle 3, so it will also be 140 degrees. And then number 5, we know that angles around a point add up to 360 because I can just draw a full 360. So I'm going to do 360 minus 122, which will give me 238 degrees. Just making sure my microphone's on. Okay, in these problems we want to solve for x. We do not want to find our angle, we just want to solve for x. So if we look in our first image, I can see that these two angles are vertical to each other because they are across from each other. So my equation setup would be 3x plus 2 equals 47. So I have 3x plus 2 equals 47. Subtract 2 on both sides. I get 3x equals 45 Now divide by 3, and I get x is equal to 15. And that's my final answer. Question number 2. If I look in this visual, I know that I'm going to add up to 360 because I have angles around a point. So 360 degrees I'm going to add up to. So I have x minus 32 plus 40 plus 294 equals 360. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my like terms. I'm going to combine my negative 32, my 40, and my 294. Let's see what happens when I type that onto my calculator. I get 302. So my answer, or my equation right now, is going to be like x plus 302 equals 360. So when I do this, I'm going to subtract 302, and I get x is equal to 58. And that's my final answer. Number 3. If I look at this visual, I know angles on the same line add up to 180. So I have 2x plus 3 plus 3x plus 2 equals 180. I'm going to combine my like terms. 2x plus 3x is 5x. 3 plus 2 is 5, and that's equal to 180. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides of my equation, and I get 5x equals 175. And I'm going to divide by 5, and I get x is equal to 35. And that's my final answer. Let's go on to some more challenging ones. In some of these, we're going to need to solve for x, and we're going to have to solve for y. If I look in this visual, I know that I'm doing my angles around a point and setting them equal to 360. So let's do that right now. So I have 2x plus x plus 85 plus 35 equals 360. I combine my like terms. So 2x plus x is 3x. And then 85 plus 35 is 120. So I have 3x plus 120 equals 360. Subtract 120, subtract 120. I get 3x is equal to 240. Divide by 3, and I get x is equal to 80. And that's my final answer. I'm going to make that a little tinier because this next one is going to be intense. Number 5. If I look at this problem, this one's going to be a little tricky. If we look, we know angles on a line add up to 180 degrees. So if I wanted to, I can take these two angles right here, my 5x plus 45 and my 3x minus 25, add them together and set them equal to 180. Let's do that. So now I combine my like terms. So I have 5x and 3x, which is 8x. I have 45 and 25. Well, 45 minus 25 is 20. And that's equal to 180. Subtract 20, subtract 20. 8x is equal to 160. Divide both sides of your equation by 8. And I get x is equal to 20. But if I look at my visual, I also need to find y. So let's see how we would find y. Well, I have an idea. If we look right here, I see that these three angles right here are going to add up to 180 degrees because they're on a straight line. Thing is, I know the value of x. The value of x is 20. So I know that this angle plus this angle plus this angle will be equal to 180. So if I do that substitution, 2 times 20 minus 5, that'll give me 35. 3 times 20 minus 25. So 60 minus 25 is, let's see, 35. So I have two 35-degree angles. So y plus 35 is equal to 180. Combine my like terms. 35 plus 35 is 70, so I have y plus 70 is equal to 180. Subtract by 70 on both sides of your equation. And I get y is equal to 110. And that's your final answer. Number 6. If I look, I know that that square right there means I have a 90-degree angle. So I know that these three angles add up to 90. So I have x plus 36 plus 40 equals 90. Combine your like terms of 36 and 40. 36 plus 40 is 76. And that's equal to 90. Subtract 76. X is equal to 14. And that's your final answer. Question number 7. This one's going to be interesting. If we look, we can see that 2x and y minus x are vertical to each other. So that means they are congruent. So if I wanted to, I can say 2x is equal to y minus x. If I want to think about it, I can solve for y by adding x to both sides of my equation. So I get y is equal to 3x. So if I think about this, I have a y right here. I can do 3x plus x, which is 4x. So now I know that these two angles, let me make it bigger, will add up to 180 degrees. So I have my 2x, my 4x, and I set them equal to 180. So I have 2x plus 4x equals 180. 2x plus 4x is 6x. That's equal to 180. Divide both sides of your equation by 6, and I get x is equal to 30. But the thing is, I know y is equal to 3x. So I go to my y, do 3 times 30 because x is 30, and then I get y is equal to 90. And that's my final answer. And that's it. If you have any questions, email myself or Ms. Calarundo.